Hello, I'm Richard Gallagher, Director of Transportation for Bayshore Schools. We'll be trying to answer some of your frequently asked questions during this podcast. One of the most frequently asked questions we get is who in Bayshore Schools receives transportation to and from school? The answer to that question has many parts, but the first part is how far you live from school. In Bayshore Schools, we've established a walker-rider boundary. For kindergarten through 5th grade, the walker-rider boundary is a half mile. For middle school students, it is 1 mile, and for high school students, it is 1.5 miles. The second part is that we have state limits for transportation. Kindergarten through 8th grade is 2 miles, and for high school students is 3 miles. So you can see by that the Bayshore limits are very generous and provide more transportation than the state would allow. The third part of this equation is that we then take the students that are assigned to transportation and form trips out of them so that they can get to school. The trips are then put together into routes for the school bus so that we can get the maximum use from a school bus. Another question we receive frequently is private transportation provided for residents to private schools. Transportation is provided to private school students if the school is within 15 miles of their home, provided that the parent submits an application by April 1st, preceding the year the student is going to attend school. One of the biggest questions we get is whether school buses are safe. School buses are made to what's called the national standards, which strengthens the frame and makes the bus almost as strong as a tank. There are clips that hold the body on top of the frame, but the frame and the body can act as two separate pieces to protect the students. The seats are also strengthened and act individually and flexed to provide safety for the students. In addition, buses are inspected every 6 months by the State Department of Transportation. These inspections are thorough and cover the entire bus, and it ensures that the buses are maintained and kept in a safe condition. Statistically, school buses are 7 times safer than a parent driving a student to school, and 18 times safer than the general public driving to school. By general public, I mean when you include students and students riding with other people. So therefore, school buses statistically are the safest means of transportation in the United States. Another question we receive frequently is what training do school bus drivers receive? When they are first candidates for a school bus driver's license, they must take a permit test at DMV. They then have to take additional training at the carrier. The carrier must review their driving record annually. They must take an annual defensive driving road test. They take 2 refresher classes for 2 hours each every year. Biennial written test every 2 years, a biennial behind the wheel road test every 2 years, and they must take a 30-hour basic class within the first year of employment. Another question we receive frequently is what should a driver of a personal car do when the red lights on a school bus are activated? When the red lights on a school bus are activated, anybody in an individual car or another vehicle must stop for the school bus. That indicates that the school bus is discharging or picking up students, and we must provide a safe environment for them to be loaded onto the bus or discharged. In Bayshore, when we take counts of how many buses are passed on a daily basis, our count in Bayshore is between 80 and 100 times the school bus is passed. This is really not safe for our students, and as residents, we need your help in providing a safer environment for our children to get on and off the buses. The last question is, why is it so difficult to change my bus stop? Changing bus stops is difficult because many things have to be taken into consideration. You have to take into account how many other bus stops are in the area, if the additional stops will stay within the guidelines provided by the State Education Department. You also have to consider how much additional time it'll add to the trip for that school. Our buses are routed so that they have a specific time to get the children to school, and every time you add a bus stop to a school bus route, it adds 3 minutes to the bus route. In addition, the extra mileage that's added to the bus stop from the bus having to either go around the block or take a different route also adds additional time to the bus route. So you have to factor all these things together to make a determination of whether it's safe and efficient to add another bus stop, because ultimately our goal is to get all the students to school in a safe manner. If you need additional information, if you go to the Bay Shore School District website, under District and Transportation, there are forms available that can be used to complete the things we've discussed and to give you additional information. I want to thank you very much for watching this podcast. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to call the Transportation Office at 631-968-1118. And again, thank you for watching.